What's up guys, it's Mike, welcome back to Made Up Universe. Today we're going to talk about the future of Star Wars Episode 9. We're going to talk about the plot, the characters and the potential titles for Episode 9, coming right up. I want to say right now that this video contains spoilers for Star Wars The Last Jedi, so if you haven't seen it yet, go and do it and come back later to see that video. After The Force Awakens, we were left with so many questions that we wanted to be answered in Episode 8. We had Snoke as a mystery figure, we had Knights of Ren, we had Rey parents, and we had Luke Skywalker and why he's gone. Then there came Episode 8. And some of the questions were answered. We learned why Luke wasn't fighting with the Resistance, we learned about Rey's parents, or at least that's what they want us to believe. And after The Last Jedi, we've got even more questions that we want to be answered. So let's talk about them and let's talk about the possibilities out there. Before we talk about the future of the characters, I think it is worth mentioning that the new movie will start several years after the events from The Last Jedi. I think this time is needed for the rebellion to rebuild and Kylo Ren to establish himself as a supreme leader. Okay, let's talk about the characters. The first character that we're going to talk about is Princess Leia Organa. Now, it's a difficult one. It was originally planned that each of the major characters from the original trilogy will have a major role in the new movies. The Force Awakens was about Han Solo, The Last Jedi was about Luke Skywalker, and the Episode 9 was supposed to be about Princess Leia. To our greatest sadness, Carrie Fisher passed away in December 2016, and that leaves us with a big question. What's going to happen to Princess Leia? There are several options I consider. We can potentially find out what happened to Princess Leia from the opening crawl of Star Wars. She could have died a heroic death fighting for the rebellion, fighting what she believed in. Alternatively, she could have retired from fighting for the rebellion, knowing that there's actually someone out there who can lead the rebellion and who can actually succeed. I mean, it all kind of makes sense when we have a look at The Last Jedi and we saw that she was really worn out. Apart from opening crawl, we can find out the fate of Princess Leia from one of the characters. It could be mentioned during the movie. I myself, for example, am not a big fan of killing a character after the actor passed away. I think that was really well handled in Fast and Furious when Brian gave up his racing days for a chance to live a quiet life with his family. That was really well done. I think Princess Leia should join the Force in a similar fashion as Luke did. I actually had an alternative version of The Last Jedi in my mind, in which it is Princess Leia who confronts Kylo on Crait. It is then when she says, "I'm sorry Ben, I failed you, I can't do it any longer." And she says her final goodbye to her son in her last stand when she actually saved the rebellion. She simply disappears in front of Ben, leaving him a bit broken knowing that she was the last one of his family. Okay, I think that's enough about Princess Leia, let's move on. Next on our list is Poe Dameron. I gotta say, I think he's one of my favorite characters, and I'm really grateful that J.J. Abrams decided to keep him. He is full of enthusiasm and energy, and this is something I really appreciate, but I think we're gonna witness a substantial change to his character in Episode 9. He will grow to be a leader, he will mature, and he will learn what responsibility really is. He might, for the first time, face a self-doubt, and even more appreciate the role of General Leia and the decisions she had to make. I'm really looking forward to see the development of this character. Okay, we're moving on to Finn. Now, I think that he finally knows what he's fighting for and he will continue to do so. He might even rank up in the forces of the rebellion and ultimately he might be training new troops. Before we move to Kylo and Rey, I want to talk about two more characters. First one is General Hux. I think he's gonna die a very stupid death, something really embarrassing. He's gonna be killed either by an object falling on his head, or he's gonna be killed either by Finn or Rose. And another character is BB-8. Well, BB-8, you're awesome, you stay as you are. You're perfect to me. Now, let's talk about Rey. I think she's fairly a straightforward character. She was a girl that wanted to find her place in this world. She wanted to learn more about her parents. She wanted to find a place in all this. And now I think she's kind of established as a Jedi and a rebel. Now that Rey is on the path of light, I'm trying to ask myself a question: what would have to happen to her to change her mind, to lure her to the dark side? Maybe her parents live and they are not who she would expect them to be. Maybe they are part of the First Order, and when she was young she was stolen by one of their relatives and put in hiding. Obviously, if all of her new family and friends are in danger, she would do anything to save them. Maybe we will witness her shifting to the dark side for a moment, just to emerge as a Jedi at the end. In the new movie, we can see Rey as a new Jedi Master. She can be potentially training a new generation of Jedi. I mean, can you imagine the final battle of Rey with her Padawans against Kylo with his Knights of Ren? That would be pretty epic. Now that I mentioned about the Jedi Order, I think in the new movie we can actually see the new Jedi Order being established, either at the beginning of the movie or at the very end of the movie. But I think it will be significantly different than the one from the past. Jedi always tried to hide the dark side from the Padawans or make them suppress the feelings connected with the dark side. So what are these feelings? Fear, loss, anger? I mean, these are these kind of feelings that we need to face and embrace in life. Therefore, I think that the new Jedi Order will not shy away from the dark side. It will teach the new generation of Jedi how to embrace it, how to face it. Okay, let's move to Kylo Ren. I think he's the tricky one, but there's the major question we need to ask here. Is Kylo Ren the ultimate villain? You see, I don't think he is, but he's got all the potential to be. I mean, look at his story. He's been tempted by the dark side. He believes that his master betrayed him. He killed his father. Then he was humiliated by his new master. He was rejected by Rey, and at the end he was humiliated by Luke again. There is enough rage in him, and some might say that he's on the way to the place that there's no coming back from. So is there a chance for Kylo to redeem himself? I think there is, but only by ultimate sacrifice. I was also thinking that Kylo Ren might have a similar role as Gollum in Lord of the Rings. He might end up saving the day, but not 100% willingly. Another thing about Kylo Ren is that he might need some time to establish himself as a supreme leader, and I was even thinking that he might be challenged to that position by either General Hawks or maybe by one of his Knights of Ren. And I think that's it about the characters, so let's talk about the potential movie titles now. The first title, Rise of the Rebellion. I mean, we've seen from The Last Jedi that the rebellion was almost extinguished. And now, thanks to Luke Skywalker, the legend of the Jedi lives and the rebellion has a chance to rebuild. So yeah, I think, as the aftermath of The Last Jedi, Rise of the Rebellion could be a good title. Another title I considered is The Balance. And I was recently talking to my sister and she asked me, oh, is Spider-Man, Punisher, Daredevil, X-Men from the same universe? And I said yeah, they all are. And she said, oh, so how is that possible that there are still any bad guys or any evil in this world? And you see, that's the thing about the evil. No matter how hard you punch it, it always comes back. And that's about the balance. So I think that, the evil completely might not be extinguished from the universe. It will be somewhere there, and the light will rise to meet it. Another potential title, The Legacy of the Jedi, or The Legend of the Jedi. As we all know, all the two previous titles, they all refer either to Jedi or the Force. The first one is The Force Awakens, the second one is The Last Jedi. So I think the title probably will be something in that area. And that's it for today, guys. So I've got a little question for you. What do you think should be the title of the next episode? And thanks for watching. Leave the comment below, hit that subscribe button, and see you next time in Made Up Universe. Why are we still here? Why do we suffer? Every day I can feel my leg.